So today I'm going to talk about one of the most requested topics, which is about Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you all? Firstly, a super duper big congratulations to all of us for reaching 5k. And now that we have reached 5k, of course there's going to be giveaways. You heard me right, it's not just going to be a giveaway, I'm going to be doing multiple giveaways. Yes, when I celebrate, I really like to celebrate, and in order to celebrate, I thought one giveaway is not enough, let's do multiple. So there are going to be 5 giveaways. Yes, there are going to be 5 people over a course of 5 weeks who are going to be winning these giveaways, and there are going to be different rules for each giveaway. I'm going to tell you more about them at the end of this video. Subscribe to my channel, click on that bell icon, and follow me on Instagram. So coming back to the topic of today's video, it was one of the most requested video, and I can completely understand why. Because when you decide to study abroad, knowing how much it's going to cost you and how to put that money together is very, very important. And today I'm going to be tackling your question about where will the money come from, finances for studying abroad. First and foremost, let's talk about calculating the exact amount. Yes, there are a lot of times when we feel that the fees is the only amount that we need. So when we are talking to the banks, then we tell them, oh, our fees is so and so much, and that's why I only need a loan for this amount. That's not the case. When you're calculating the amount that you need an education loan for, you need to think of certain other things also. And this I learned the hard way, because I was doing the same mistake. Whatever was my fee amount, I was just asking the banks for that amount of money. But later on, I realized that there are so many additional costs that are going to happen. One, the currency in which you're taking your amount, it's in INR, it's in rupees, right? Or it could be in any other currency. Now, the currency in which you're studying could be different. In my case, it was Swiss francs, so in CHF. If you're going to the US, it would be in dollars. If you're going to the UK, it would be in pounds, and so on and so forth. But the loan amount that you're taking is going to be in rupees. So there's going to be a conversion rate. There's going to be additional charges on that conversion and the sending of the money. So you need to add this amount to your fees amount and then see what your total amount is coming out to be. On top of that, you also have to think about living expenses. Living expense is the expense that you'll have once you reach that place. Even if you get your accommodation from the college or food from the college, trust me guys, you will still need money to live. Be it for transportation, be it for additional food that you want to eat, be it to go and buy some stationery, to buy additional books. You know, the list is endless. You might need some urgent pair of shoes, anything is possible. So you need that living expense. You need to calculate a budget in that foreign currency, and you need to add this to the total amount that you need for doing this course. In my case, if I take an internship, I will have to rent an apartment, I will have to give a deposit. So these are additional costs that are not included in your fee structure. So if you have a course which has this internship pattern and then you have to figure out your own accommodation, please add this expense also to your fees when you're thinking of taking that loan. Another important point is insurance. There are a lot of schools which will cover your insurance as part of their fee. But if they are not covering it as part of your fee, then do figure out how much money it's going to be for the insurance and how much will it cost you in that foreign currency, including remittance, and add it to your fees. So when you add the school fees, living expense, accommodation, currency exchange, insurance, all of this will actually become the fees for you. So it's not going to be a simple fee amount, it's going to be an addition of all of this. And now to this, if you actually have to add You also have to add the plane tickets, because of course you have to fly from wherever you are to wherever you're going. That is a big expense. So those tickets are going to go in. You might need additional things like clothes, shoes, like for the winter. It's crazy sometimes. When I was coming to Switzerland, I needed a lot of sweaters and jackets which would enable me to live here in minus degrees. Now these are not degrees that we ever saw in Delhi or Bombay. So I had to buy special clothes for that, special shoes to walk in the snow for that. Those things are expensive also. So all of this is the cost of you going to study abroad. Think of all of these expenses when you're applying for a loan to any bank. Now, when you're applying for a loan, there are two things. One, a loan for which you have collateral to give. For example, your parents own property, or you own property, or you have land that you can put in collateral. That is collateral. It's basically a security that you can give a bank so that against this land or against this property, they give you the money. And the second is loans without collateral, in which you don't have any security to provide to the bank, and hence that loan has to be given only on the basis of your education or your parents' income or the income of some guarantor. So those are non-collateral loans. Collateral loans. Collateral loans are really simple because in this case you have something to offer to the bank as security. So in case if you cannot pay your interest or you cannot return the loan amount, then they have this land or this property as security, and they will take over it, they will sell it, and they can recover their loan amount. Banks love this kind of loan wherein they are getting some sort of security. Here the rate of interest is very low as compared to the other, and also you get a moratorium period. This moratorium period means that during your study you will not have to pay any interest amount. Only after you finish your study and you get a job is when you start paying the interest back to the bank. So this is a great thing that a collateral loan will provide. So the benefits of taking a loan with collateral is that 1, they are easy to get. 2, the rate of interest is low. And 3, there's a moratorium period, so you can pay the bank back once you start earning. Talking about loans without collateral. I took a loan without collateral because I don't own property and I did not want to put my mom through it, so I wanted to take a loan without collateral. These are a task. There are very, very, very few banks which will give you loans without collateral. I took it from Avance Financial, and you can also take it from Avance. In this case, the rate of interest is extremely high. It can range anywhere between 13 to 15%, and that is as good as taking a personal loan. Rate of interest is skyrocketing. It is very difficult to get because there is hundreds and hundreds of paperwork that you have to get in place so that you get this loan, which meant paperwork for me, paperwork for my mom, if there is anybody else taking your guarantee, then for that person. So there's hundreds and hundreds of papers that you will have to put together and you will have to send to them. So it's a very tedious process. It's a very annoying process. And on top of that, there is no moratorium period. As soon as you get the loan, you start paying your interest. So there is no waiting period. There is no giving the student some chance to, make something of themselves so that they can start earning and then they pay. Nothing like that. You get the loan, you start paying the interest. It's just like a personal loan. These are the two kind of loans that you will get in the education market, in the education loan market. And trust me, if you have collateral of some form, I would suggest to go for that path because it's much easier, it's less tension, it's better rate of interest, so they're not robbing you blind. The non-collateral one, I understand that for many people collateral is not possible. Just be ready to do a lot of effort so that you get that loan. So these were my tips and tricks, and these were the pointers that I could tell you about putting together your finances. If you have any other questions, you can always DM me on Instagram, or you can write in the comments below and we can have a chat about it, or I can perhaps point you in the right direction. But before you do that, please Google and please research yourself before you write to me. Now coming to the most awaited part, which is the giveaway. The rules are very, very simple. Subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram. That's like the basic rule for all the giveaways. Now from here on, what is going to be the giveaway rules for the 5 giveaways? Well, every week I'm going to be announcing the giveaway. So this week's giveaway is on my Instagram. When you follow me and when you see the post, you will see what you have to do, what are the rules of that giveaway. So just check that out, follow those rules, and then one of you will win the giveaway. Similarly, the next week and the next week and thereon. But the basic rule is simple. Subscribe to my channel, click on that bell icon and follow me on Instagram. So I hope you had fun watching this video. I know it's a lot about money and maths and rate of interest, but these are important things, and now that we are grown-ups, we have to understand them because we have to pay this money back. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Until next time, bye bye.